Hello and welcome to MacroEdtech online educational services. Today we are going to discuss Economic Survey 2023-24 Part 1, in which I'll show some important data related to agriculture and food management. Let's start our discussion with some dynamic and static data. As we know that agriculture plays a vital role in India's economy. According to Census 2011, around 55% of the total workforce is engaged in agriculture and allied sector. Agriculture and allied sectors accounts for 18.4% of India's gross value added at current prices during 2022-23. In next slide we will see in detail. Now second, static data, land use statistics. The geographical area of our country is 328.7 million hectares, of which around 54.8% is agricultural land. Please remember some facts. 141 million hectares is the reported net sown area. Net sown area comprises 42.8% of total geographical area. At all India level, total cropped area has increased by 66.1% in 2021-22 as compared to 1950-51. This point also important, the net irrigated area during 21-22 was 77.9 million hectares, out of which 24.7% was accounted by canal source of irrigation, 2.8% by tanks, and 47.3% by the tube well. You can see here groundwater is key source of irrigation. In this table, you can see net sown area, production in lakh tons, and yield. Here you can see directly food grains, production increase. In 2021, production was 3,107 lakh ton. Now, in 2022-23, it was 3,296 lakh ton. You can also check here the yield. Most important is oil seed area in 2021 was 288, in 2021-22 289, and 22-23 it increased up to 302 lakh hectare. And you can also see the production for oil seeds 359 lakh ton, 379 lakh ton, and now 413 lakh ton. Also, yield is continuously increasing. Similarly, for sugarcane is also important. Area only 48.51 lakh hectare, but now 58.85 in 22-23. You can see here the lakh tons production 4,053 lakh ton in 2021 and now reached up to around 5,000 lakh tons. Also you can see the yield 83,000 kilogram per hectare, increased slightly in 2021 and decreased slightly in 2023. Growth of agriculture and allied sectors from 2017-18 to 22-23. You can see here growth in percentage, and we can compare crops, livestock, fishing and aquaculture. If we consider first one is crop, so it is not continuously increasing or decreasing, but fluctuating. Similarly, for livestock, it was at good percentage. Growth percentage was good in 2017-18, also in 18-19. In spite of COVID-19, growth was good in livestock, but after 21-22, it slightly decreases. In case of fishing and aquaculture, in 2017-18, growth percentage was very good, around 15%. But after 2018, it was continuously decreasing. But in 21-22, again grow by 14 to 15%. So overall, nothing is constant, nothing is growing steadily. Growth of agriculture and allied sector in past 6 years was fluctuating. Now very interesting comparison given by economic survey, international productivity comparison for measure kharif crops. Kharif crops such as paddy, maize, jowar, tur, pulse, groundnut, soybean, sunflowers. Comparison all India average and world highest. Basically comparison based on yield, how much production in 1 hectare. So we can compare first paddy around 4000 kilogram per hectare and world highest around 7000. Similarly for maize around 3000 and world highest around 11,000, and rest of crops you can see here. So overall motto of this comparison to show the yield. In previous slide I already show you in tabular form. Now you can see clearly in graph production of major crops in lakh tons. So first of all, food grains, overall production of food grain continuously increasing with year. Also oil seeds, production of oil seed continuously increasing from 2017-18. Now gross capital formation of agriculture and allied sector. GCF of agriculture and allied sector, you can see exponential growth or gross capital formation is exponentially increasing from 2016-17 to 22-23. Very interesting comparison. Water use per ton of food for major crops, India and world average. So you can see here left side India and right side world. Comparison amongst wheat, rice and maize. First one, wheat around 1500 per ton of food. For rice around 4000 per ton of food, and for maize around 2000. But on the right side you can see the difference. Less water used for wheat production, less water for rice, also less water for maize. One more graph where you can see MSP of major crops from 2021-22 to 23-24. Minimum support price for wheat, gram, masoor, paddy, bajra, ragi, arhar, soybean and cotton. First of all, we will see for wheat, it is continuously increasing. Similarly for gram, increasing, for masoor, increasing, paddies increasing, for bajra increasing. So overall, for all crops, almost all crops, MSP is continuously increasing. You can read here list of crops associated with MSP. Government announced minimum support prices for 22 mandate crops and fair and remunerative prices for sugarcane. So we can categorize in cereals, pulses, oilseed, cotton, jute, copra, dehusked coconut, sugarcane, VFC tobacco. In our economics section, we will discuss in great detail MSP for crops, fertilizer. You can read here MSP determinants. As I already told you, we will discuss MSP in our separate video. You can see here share of food processing industry and manufacturing. Currently share around 7 to 8% in 22-23. So there is no big change because in 2012-13 share is almost same under 10%. And second, growth of API. Growth is not continuous, even more fluctuating. Previously we discussed production in lakh tons, but now unit is million tons. So you can read this table. So overall, please remember trends, especially for last 4 to 5 years. 297 million tons in 2019 and now 329 million tons production of total food grains. So it is continuously increasing. Thank you very much. Please subscribe our channel for daily updates. We will finish all chapters of Economics Survey 23-24. Also, we are going to discuss budget in our separate video series.